You've seen it everywhere. The trend is a monster now, and it's called Vanlife.
But behind every cutesy picture that you see on Instagram is a different reality, and things are a little bit more challenging than it seems.
Yes, so before quitting your job, selling everything, and buying a truck, we're gonna see if van life is really for you.
Are you ready for the van life?
Yes. Marie and I listed the 10 questions you should ask yourself before starting any kind of van life quest.
And number 9 and number 10 are the things that are the worst from everyone that we've talked to on the road. Yeah. Number 9 and number 10 are extremely challenging, but if you can pull it off, you're ready for van life.
Yes. If you ever have some questions while you're watching the video, just stop, write your question in the comment, and we'll try to answer everything. And let's go. We are Dom and Marie.
We were traveling around the United States when COVID hit. Stuck at home, we sold our first van, Vanessa, to build a bigger one.
After a few months in the shop, we are now back on the road with our new home on wheels that we named Vanessa Nessa.
Tune in every Sunday for a new episode of Vanlife Saga.
Question 1 to see if van life is for you, Marie-Pierre.
Can you go a couple of days without showering?
Van life is for me.
Because you never shower? Some vans have showers, some don't. Now, if you have a van, you do not have unlimited water. You might not have hot water. You will either be showering inside in a very tiny space or outside in front of families eating their hot dogs on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, that happened in the past. So water management is a very big hustle on the road. If you are someone that needs showering once or twice a day, you might want to reconsider life on the road.
Now, if you don't have a shower, again, very complicated. You can either find them in campgrounds, truck stops, lakes.
It won't be the comfy little shower that you have in a normal home. It will always be surrounded by people, dirty floors, you know, people waiting in line after you, etc. So it's not showering as you would shower at home.
Sometimes you have to pay for them. Again, not super complicated. If that's not an issue for you, if you can shower anywhere, hot, cold, name it, van life might be for you.
Question number 2, probably my favorite. Are you ready to invest time and energy in your waste management?
Or are you okay with emptying your dump?
Or are you okay with playing with your number 1s and number 2s once in a while? When you drive in a self-contained vehicle, you have at one point, and it's usually once a week or once every 3 or 4 days, depending on how much stuff you produce in a week. And in the beginning, Marie and I were like, okay, we're gonna do that in the forest, and that was a challenge, but friends also have toilets aboard, and it's also it's a work of art to manage your waste.
A work of art.
A work of art.
If you're okay with doing it outside, or in a can, or in a pot, A1. If you need a toilet, no worries, we have one in the van now. Again, you just have to empty it and find spot, and it needs to be something that you think about. And sometimes it smells in the van. Okay.
Especially when Marie goes.
C'est plus que moi, non?
Alors, je dis ça vraiment en marde.
C'est vrai? Question number 3. Can you plan ahead? And
No.
that means, no, c'est ça. You have a hard time with that. That means gas, water, food, internet,
Insurance, security,
yeah.
everything.
Obviously, the most beautiful places you're going to find in Canada and the States, wherever you are very, very secluded, very remote. That means driving long distances in the wild, in the mountains, in the deserts, where you have no internet connection, where the groceries are far, where the water is far, where the dumps are far, toilet showers are far. So you need to plan ahead.
Yes, and it's not my forte. When you travel in other countries, you're like, oh, let's go see that special place in Iceland. Okay, great. You get there. Then you realize there's not a lot of gas left, so you have to come back. You realize there's no grocery stores. You realize there's no water. You realize the road is not fit for the van you have, so you're like,
yeah. iOverlander is an app we use every day just because it tells you where to sleep. Does it have water, showers, a fire pit? Is it accessible? Is it safe. So number 3, if you can plan ahead and manage your resources, you are going to be fine, but these are things that you have to think about.
Yeah. Can you live with the bare minimum? And I remember packing the van, the first van we had, Vanessa, with a lot of stuff that was overwhelming Marie, because she was like, we don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need this, etc. And at one point I was like, God damn it, I have to rethink the whole way I live, because I don't have access to, you know, all the gear, the equipment, the knives, the tools that we need to survive usually, or that we need to live usually.
Yeah, living in such a tiny space, you have limited water, limited food, limited clothes, limited accessories. The things that we have in the van, I mean, I don't have 10 pair of jeans. I have 2. Probably
I
have
have
2.
one.
I have 2 in real life. You know, a couple of shirts, no heels in a van. I've never worn heels.
Well, you can if you have a lot of shoe storage, which is not our case.
Exactly. That's a tip. Everything that's in the van, or most of the things that are in the van, we can use. Like, they have multiple utilities we can use on different things. Sometimes it's worth paying a little bit more for things that are smaller and more compact, so it takes less
Smaller
space.
Smaller glasses,
Smaller
smaller cups, smaller everything, yeah.
So yeah, space is limited, and that's something that you need to figure out.
Can you live without Wi-Fi or with unstable Wi-Fi? And I'm asking the question seriously because someone in the room here thought she could go without Wi-Fi for a couple of days, and it was not the case last year, I think.
Wi-Fi, are you talking like LTE, like 5G?
Connection in general. If your job needs Wi-Fi, or if your family or your kids, or if you need to be in constant communication with people, whether it's clients or personal contacts, you have to imagine yourself disappearing from the network for days at the time. It's a very, very stressful feeling when you're in the mountains having fun, skiing, and then coming back, and the cell phones are not working, the computers are not working, nothing's working, and someone's trying to call you, or a client has an emergency, and you're like, ugh.
If you are living in your van in the city, totally different story, because you might have internet connection. But if you want to do like remote van life, and you are working from the road, if you're working from the road, you need to plan accordingly, because in the mountains, internet connection is the thing that we had the most
problems with. It was probably the number one source of stress.
Right. Number 6, and I'm gonna do number 6 because number 6 doesn't apply to this guy. Can you keep a place tidy and clean?
What? Look at this place.
You clean the house every time I come back because you want to make sure I'm happy with your cleaning. So when you live in a van, remember that you are living in your bathroom, kitchen, office, living room, toilet, and it's all in a very tiny place. When you're driving, the windows are down, there are cracks everywhere, you get sand, dirt in the van. Every time you cook a meal, I mean, your sink is this big, you're gonna have to do the dishes every time. So you need to be good with keeping a van clean.
If you're a neat freak, it's totally feasible. You just need to make sure you're traveling with someone that's, you know, compatible with what you're doing and what your expectations are for the small space you have. Otherwise, vans get dirty really fast.
Yeah,
you have a broom, you have a couple of cleaning products, and that's it. The second you open the door in the middle of Lone Rock, there's going to be an inch of sand 12 hours later on your floor. So
you need to sweep, you need to do your dishes by hand, you need to sometimes wash your underwear by hand.
Or just accept that the vans are going to be dirty, which is my technique, but we're not going to talk about this today.
You know.
Next point. Question number 7 of the questions you have to ask yourself to see if you're good for van life.
Or not.
Or not. Are you good at prepping meal, and are you good at food management in general? You have a fridge, you have places to put your food. However, you don't have as much space as you would usually have in a house, and food can go bad quite quickly.
Most of the time you don't even have an oven. Some do, but most people don't. And you have 1 or 2 burner stoves. Sorry, didn't want to cut you.
No problem. Marie and I are pretty easy on food because the only thing we eat are avocados and peppers with hummus. But
that's not true.
If you're a big eater or a big cook, you might want to plan your kitchen accordingly, or limit your expectations food-wise.
That is a very good one. You need to limit your expectations. You are not going to be cooking like a 3-pot dish in a van, it's way too complicated.
Well,
It's messy. I mean, you can. But
You can, but afterwards you have to think of cleaning those dishes
Yeah.
with limited resources in water,
Yeah.
in space, in cleaning stuff.
Yeah.
Unless you're a restaurant on wheels, food in a van is a big, big hustle.
Yeah. Question number 8. Can you manage heat or cold? Now, this really depends on where you live, but us Canadians, in the winter, it can go down to minus 30 Celsius,
40.
minus 40 Celsius, which is really darn cold, and you need to be able to manage heat
And cold.
and cold. Right. Duh. A couple of weeks ago, you spent a night at minus 30.
40.
I know outside, but in the van, it wouldn't go like.
No. So it was minus 40. In the van, it was around 10. Under the bed, it was around 1.
Yeah.
So see, heat management is really hard. You need a PhD in heat management if you want to live in a van. If in cold countries, and even when you have the heaters and the things to block the windows, etc. Parts of your van in the winter are gonna freeze.
Right.
So for example, the
Water.
gray water pipe underneath completely froze last week. And just to give you the example, this problem forced me to have containers that I use to do the dishes and to have water aboard. So if you're not good with managing heat or cold, or if you think it's too complicated, van life is gonna be a hard ride for you.
Question number 9.
Question number 9
COVID.
is comfort a top priority for you, or are you the flexible kind of person that can basically live, sleep, and operate anywhere?
King size beds in a van,
It's feasible.
but I mean, it's not always the case. Again, we talked about cold, we talked about heat, we talked about water. If you have animals or pets, it might be difficult for them. Finding a parking spot at night is a chore. It is not, I mean, again, you can do Walmart
Parking lots.
parking lot.
And even then, when you have a comfortable leveled place where you can sleep in your king size bed, there's gonna be stuff going on around your van that are gonna make you feel uncomfortable. When I was camping in Colorado a couple of weeks ago in the buttes, there were gunshots around the van of people just, I guess, having fun in the fields.
Cool.
For us Canadians, it's very uncomfortable to have people playing with real guns around a camping spot because we're not used to it, and here it's not legal. So it's like, ooh,
Am I safe or am
I safe? And I was alone, so I was like, what's the emergency route?
Did you have internet connection, or did your phone work if anything went south?
It was on and off. So if there were a big problem, I was like, the comfort. If you're a comfortable kind of person that needs, to check all the boxes before feeling okay, it's okay if you are. Van life can be a bit challenging on the comfort level.
Right. And final and last question to know if van life is ready for you or not, or whatever the thing you were saying every time you spoke. Do you have money stacked somewhere?
Or do you have a plan?
Do you have a plan? A lot of people say we're privileged. We worked for our money first of all, and we have money stacked just in case.
Yeah.
Health insurance,
Yeah.
breakdowns, insurance, the van itself, the conversion itself, fines, name it. You can't just live in a van and pretend you're gonna have no dépenses.
Expenses.
You need to plan accordingly.
I hate to bring that to you, but selling everything, buying a van, converting it, and leaving on the road is probably the worst thing you can do for your personal finances. Why?
Long term.
Long term.
Right.
Why? Because a vehicle has a depreciation. What's the word?
The money goes down.
A vehicle has a depreciation rate that is high. Your conversion is going to be flooded with other conversions on the market in a couple of years, so the value of it probably won't go up after 2023 or 2024. And your assets that are usually useful to build up some money, like real estate or companies or other investments you can make, have nothing to do with van life. Van life is just a
Temporary lifestyle.
temporary. Well, you can do it all your life if you want, if you have a plan to make money.
But it's not an investment.
The van itself is not an investment,
Financially.
and your time needs to be invested wisely to make sure you're not running after your wallet.
Right.
So
running after your wallet. Can we have a video of Dom running after your wallet?
I was translating from the French courir après son argent.
So that's the French lesson. Courir après son argent.
So what's the English version of it?
Not running after
To
your
run
wallet.
after your money? Van life is not an investment. And a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm planning to invest in a van. You're not investing in a van.
No.
You're spending on a van. And
well, again, you can build and convert and make money off of your conversion.
yes, but your conversions have to be quick.
Right.
You have to find a van, convert it, and sell it, and make sure your revenues are over your expenses. But then again, you need to be a professional builder to do that. Make sure you have a little financial plan or money stacked somewhere to do this lifestyle, and just write a plan. I could actually do a full video on how to plan van life on the money aspect of things.
Do it, dude.
So that's it, guys.
If you feel we haven't covered everything,
Or if you have questions about the downsides or the things you have to think of before starting, please send us your questions. We love answering those questions and just making sure you've got everything set up right before hitting the road.
that's it. Like, share, subscribe, and enjoy the ride.
Jesus Christ.
See you next week.
A French Canadian lesson number 2000. Courir après son argent. That phrase has two meanings. The first meaning is to run after a payment, or the second meaning is the pursuit of money. It's never to run after a wallet. I don't know what happened in my head during the video. Because courir means to run, après means after, and son argent means a payment, or money in general. It's never to run after a wallet, unless you are impaired. In that scenario, it's pretty fun. Otherwise, courir après son argent means to run after a payment or to run after money in general. Okay?